Hey guys, it's Michael here, and welcome back to, oh maybe this is your first time, welcome to Pocket Cast of the Empire. Today we're going to be talking about the obscure men and Emir of Nirn. So basically any of the men or Emir that had pages on the UESP, we're going to be talking about them. There are a ton that did not, but there are some that did. And I couldn't find any information on the ones that did not, except for brief mentionings, like they defeated the such and such, and then this, that, this. So we're going to start out with the Kathrinki. These silver-skinned men, native to Black March, were once considered to be the only men native to Tamriel, but this had been proven false because there are plenty of tribes that originated here. Rumored to be avid sailors, they accidentally spread the Natin flu to Valenwood. The Kathringi were thought to be eradicated by said flu, so the Nahatin flu. Some infected fled on ships and went west. So maybe not dead. We don't know. They probably did die though. And then some made pacts with Daedric princes to live through the plague. So, a group of them made a pact with Clavicus Vile to live through the plague, and they became a group of undead skeletons. So we don't know if they're still alive or not. They didn't become. Clavicus Vile cast an illusion on them that made them look like they were. Wait a minute. I hope this bandit up here doesn't disturb me while I'm trying to record an episode. I have to go take care of him. Oopsie. That's great. I saw that out of the corner of my eye and I'm like, nope, that's not gonna work. Keep an eye on him. Okay, let's get back to what I was talking about. A few of the, they make deals with Clavicus Vile, and they turned into skeletons, or made it look like they were skeletons. They worshipped some of the gods of the pantheon. I think Kinnereth was one, but they also worshipped their own god, Zen, the god of toil. In the Merithic era, wait a minute. In the Merithic era, hold up. Okay, I made a mistake. Next race, they don't. These Kathingi, they don't worship Zen. No, they do worship Zen, but they're not in the Merithic era. Next, the Needs. Nedes, not Needs. Nedes, the Needs. They were a race of men of the Merithic era. Now these just look like normal men. The Kathringi were the only ones that really look that different. I mean, the Red Guards are designed around African American. I mean, the Imperials are obviously designed around Greek or Roman. The Nords are obviously Nords, like Nordic Viking-esque people. Norwegian, Britons. Not sure. I think they're designed around British people, because they don't really look much different. They don't really look much different than like Americans or anyone else. Because are there any for Americans? I don't think there are. There should be. And I think the Wood Elves, because the Wood Elves don't really have an accent, and they just talk. I mean, they don't have an accent to me because I'm an American. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any that don't have an accent. Bandit is really bugging me up there. The Kathringi are silver skinned, so that's the one. The Needs. Yeah, there were some men in the Merithic era, and they were the first era. They studied the constellations and worshipped they worshipped their celestials. They didn't go extinct, but were assimilated into other races because since they were so similar to like the Nords, I think. Hold on. Yeah, they were assimilated. So they're still our descendants of the Needs, but they wouldn't know it. We wouldn't know it, and they'd be so, and obviously they weren't as widespread as the Nords, so they'd be such like trace amounts of Needs in someone that you wouldn't even know it. Next, the Orma. They're a Vulpine race. Wait, what? Okay, they're like cat people. Well, they're slightly cat people. They if you ever played the game Arena, Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, you know the cat people there that just had a tail, I think, or they had like cat like they're very cat like. They could like do very athletic things. You know that's what I mean by Vulpine. They're a Vulpine race that suffer from a predisposed blindness. I really spread out my syllables there. Pre, and then I go dis, and then posed, and then blind, and then ness. But also died of the Nahatan plague. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, next. The Mer, or elves. So, Altmer. They were Proto-Mer, that were the first men, Mer, or beast folk to live on Nirn. They're very sophisticated. Ayleid race. Ayleids are Heartland High Elves. They lived in Cyrodiil. They enslaved the Imperials. They came up with the first empire in the Merithic era. But I will talk about them in a completely another episode because there's so much lore behind them. You can read plenty of books on, in game, of course, on the Heartland High Elves or the, you know, there's plenty of books on that, so I'm not going to explain it to you right now. And I will do an episode about it. The Chimer. They were elves that wanted to worship Daedra. The big three, Boethia, Azura, and I can't remember the other one for the life of me, so I'm so sorry. But the one that really matters in this story is Azura. The other ones they don't really matter right now. I'll talk about them later when I do an episode on if I do an episode on the Dunmer or the Chimer. They worship the Daedra. They left the Altmer because the Altmer, which is not Aldmer, are Proto-Mer. Altmer are High Elves with a T. Altmer. They left the Altmer because the Altmer consider. I'm gonna have to really pronounce that T from now on because I told you guys about the Altmer. The Altmer are very offended by Daedric worship because they directly descend from the Aedra, which is like the Nine Divines, Kynareth, Akatosh, Talos, Dibella, Mara, those guys. Zenithar, you know. Dibella. Yeah, those guys. I think you get the picture. So they worshipped, they didn't want to worship them. And they get very offended because it's like you're not worshiping our ancestors, you're worshiping these guys that didn't help create Nirn, which are the Daedra. That's the only difference, because Daedra aren't inherently evil. They just, when Nirn was created, they just decided not to create it. So actually, they're by definition more powerful than the Aedra, because the Aedra, in staying and creating Nirn, had their power sapped, so they can't create a physical presence, and they aren't as powerful. They can die. The Aedra can die. The Daedra can't die. Of course not. They're like super beings. They're amazing. They're awesome. Especially like Meridia. She's cool. And so is like Azura. Those are like the two really inherently good ones. I mean, they say Boethia is inherently good, but like she's the goddess of death and like assassination. I don't think she's she's inherently good in my opinion. Bandit is really bugging me though. Like, look at him. Like, oh my god, he's so gonna save me down here. I'm gonna put right there so I can check on him. Like, has he not noticed the people I killed? Look at this. He has not noticed this. Those are all burned corpses. Like, he doesn't notice like that I killed Jarira, his like leader. Let's go stay here. I don't need to look at it. Okay, back on track. Chimer left the Altamir and were transformed into the Dunmer by Azura because they angered them by worshiping a tribunal, by worshiping not tribunal, creating or using the heart of Lorkhan. The left-handed elves. And this is a good one. They were a race of. I included a little bit here because it's just fun to say. They were a race of Mur. They were enemies to the Yakutans, or ancient Red Guards. That's where Red Guards came from, Yakuta. The Yakutans defeated the left-handed elves by by bringing an avatar of Hunding to defeat them. I love saying Hunding. An avatar of Hunding. I have no idea what that is, but they defeated them. The Moamur, aka Sea Elves, aka Tropical Elves, aka Fish Elves. Race of Mur. They were a race of Mur that reside in Pyadonia, which is south of Somerset Isles. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Pocket Cast to the Empire. And I will see you all. So basically my recording schedule, quickly, is Tuesdays. I didn't do it this week. Tuesdays and Fridays. And so I'll see you guys next week with another episode on the Beast Folk, on the unused Beast Folk. So basically any Beast Folk that were not used in the game. So I'll see you later. Bye.